Incremental greetings. Today I want to talk about the sleep. So you may be asking, hey, SuperMemo is meant to be used incrementally. So when is best to use it? Across the day, before napping, after napping, and is there a best option? Questions like this, especially if you have read about Piotr Wojcik's writings about sleep, learning, memory consolidation, and so on. So I thought, hey, albeit anecdotal evidence, let me share my data. So what I noticed is that this is sleep, by the way, it's dummy. I added just for the sake of the video, so it's easier to understand. So I seen two patterns. I follow a biphasic sleep pattern. That means that I sleep at night and I sleep during a nap. And usually 90% of my days are like this. But the exact time changes across day. So what I noticed that even if I use SuperMemo when I want to, I don't follow, hey, now it's according to the plan. It's the optimum time to use SuperMemo now. Since I have a daily job, albeit I have some degree of freedom. I have meetings at a certain time and so on. That means that I use SuperMemo whenever I want to, that I'm free, I'm available. But even that seems like a mess. That is like a pattern. That I always use SuperMemo after waking up. Not necessarily right after. But within an hour, half an hour, I don't know exactly, because I'm not logging my sleep, and I don't check the clock when I start the session. But my mind is fresh, and it's my top performance. Though what you see here is from 2021, that I was working by myself. Okay, here we have some more recent examples. Don't take the other days as genuine usage. This is actually a backup, so this usage is when shooting videos. So what you see here, that I still use SuperMemo across the day, even though the time invested is lower. It's even less than an hour some days, or 2 hours-ish some days. Is one session in the morning after waking up, or after a while of waking up, and some sessions after the nap. But again, not as soon as I wake up. Keep in mind the huge limitation that this doesn't take into account whatever I do outside of SuperMemo. So those tiny gaps you see is because I'm interleaving some other apps. Could be just Anki with language learning. Could be Notion that I brainstorm or I write about, for instance, this channel itself, or some stuff that I want to publish in the future. So what changed? That now I no longer use SuperMemo for everything. So in this case, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., perhaps I have done a complete session without a break. What I have done is interleaving apps. SuperMemo, now here I write a little, back to SuperMemo, I write, brainstorm a little, and so forth. So take this into consideration. Even though most of the time it's the same. At least one session after waking, even if it's small, it's short, and at least one session after the nap. If I go to here, 2021, that I was using SuperMemo for a lot longer, like 4 hours every single day or more. Look at this. It's more spread across the day, yes, but look at that. There's a big chunk between waking up and the nap time, and between the nap and going to bed again. So even if I don't follow the optimum timing, because I have constraints of my real life and work, it's still pretty good. So for instance, January 25th of this year, oh yeah, I did a super small session during the morning, and then I haven't did anything else until 10 p.m. Yeah, well, I don't remember that specific day. It's better than nothing, right? So yes, I know that at 10 p.m. I won't have the best focus of the day, but that's better than nothing, than skipping the session altogether. So at the end of the day, I don't actually worry, and I haven't checked this for a long time, that okay, as long as I sleep well, I do a bit, and I nap, and I free run my sleep, that I don't use an alarm clock, it's okay. It's more than okay. It's suboptimal, yes, but this is already good enough. I don't want to be a slave of a plan that it's the time, the best time to perform. So now I will use SuperMemo because it's this time of the day that I have more lucidness and more focus. Because overall, what I'll value more is the pleasurability, not necessarily the outcome, the performance. Even though they are related, because if it's fun for me and pleasurable, I will have a good performance regardless of the time of the day. So those are my 2 cents, my anecdotal evidence that regardless of the overall time I spend on the day, at the very least I do 2 sessions. The first hours after waking and after some hours after the nap. Even though I have some other sessions across the day, what I do is also not necessarily the same. I may do subsets of the easy stuff or go through the outstanding items instead of reading and thinking like I do at the start of the day, stuff like this. So let me know if you have a pattern and you could see an improvement or the opposite, a decline in performance when you have changed something, how you use SuperMemo during the day, if you do one huge session and that's it, or you prefer chunking down this session across the day. And if you're like me, that I interleave SuperMemo with other apps, because now I no longer use writing in my collection. Hope this has been useful, and see you incrementally.